Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Uhaul Stealth Camping channel. Apparently that's what we're turning into now. That's right, we got a U-Haul, I put an apartment in it, and now we're stealth camping wherever we want, seeing what we can get away with. Now last time, if you missed the last episode, we stealth camped in a commercial park, and that was a little easy, a little too easy, especially for a truck this stealthy. So what we're going to do today is kick it up a notch or two, or maybe even three. Today, we're going to go to the biggest mall in Texas. That's right, the Galleria at Houston. I did a little bit of reconnaissance, and it looks like there's potential for us to actually park underneath the mall. We're going to get some gas and food on the way, so I'll meet you there. Let's go. So I do have to squeeze into one of these spots. This is this is a challenge in and of itself. Parking in the downtown Whole Foods with a 17-foot box. All right, we can do it. We can do it. I'll take this one. Easiest parking job I've ever done in my entire life. In the area, we're here. There she blows. Right there. I'm going for that underground concourse, maybe. I think it's worth mentioning that I have never been here before. So this is completely new to me. The parking lot right over there, that looks pretty decent. Steakhouse. Probably park in there. Of course, all these parking lots also, I'm seeing tow signs, you know, no unauthorized parking. Parking lot is patrolled, all that stuff. So this is definitely going to be a little tougher. I think our entrance is coming right up after this tunnel here. Truck concourse, there it is. All right. For assistance for entry, call security. Oh no, it's closed. Okay, our truck concourse entrance had a gate in front of it. So, plan B. We're going to do a little bit of scouting around the area. I might just do a loop around and come back to that steakhouse parking lot because that looked pretty good. There's a security guard right there. I'm going to pull in anyway and just take a look around. The mall itself is right behind that tree back there. We're in a little strip mall right behind it. And just behind that black car right next to me, there is a security car. So they saw me come in, but if they're anything like the security anywhere else, they really don't care, and they're not looking for, white box trucks. All right, so I think what we're going to do for this one is just actually, I'm going to utilize a little bit of a different strategy. I'm going to go in the back, and then I'm just going to pull this stuff through. Go right into the back here, as long as they're not moving, they can't see this. And there aren't any other cameras around here, so. Our surveillance tablet here. We're going to get this hooked up right away so that I can get visibility on what's going on outside the truck. Okay, here's a sit rep, boys and girls. It's a situation report. Got everything unpacked, stored away, all the food and stuff, my grocery run, we're good to go there. Security guard has moved from the far end of the parking lot to the left of us to the far end of the parking lot over on the right. Does he really care about what's happening in the parking lot? I don't know. The only worry we have is that towing, after a certain time, it's currently 8:30 p.m. Maybe after a certain time, towing starts happening. I don't even think they can tow this truck anyway, to be perfectly honest with you. I think this is a great test because we already know a standard van would probably be eliminated 90% of the time in this parking lot. Now everything is closed around me, so we're really just waiting for all the employees to leave, and then the parking lot should be pretty much empty. That said, we have to move on to an additional challenge. This is an involuntary challenge that has been thrust upon me, and that is, I don't have any running water. My pump just primes. It tries to prime it doesn't stop, and it doesn't actually pull any water. It just keeps trying to prime. So I know my tank has plenty of water. It's a very simple PEX line between there and the tank. It cannot kink. It can't get clogged because I filter the water before it goes in there every time. So something's wrong with the pump, it seems. That Sherfill pump, I don't know. It was acting up last time. I had to reseat the fuse and then it started working. This time I reseated the fuse a bunch of times. It does not work. So we don't have any running water. And on top of that, I forgot to get water at the Whole Foods. So we have just what we have on hand. We have to survive with that overnight at the Galleria Mall with security right outside my door. Difficulty on this one I'd probably put at about 6.57 range. We gotta survive. We have to cook food, wash our hands, clean the dishes, brush our teeth, wash our face, use the restroom with 4 bottles of water. Alright. Challenge accepted. Tonight's dish is going to be chicken udon stir fry. One of the reasons I chose this dish is because the preparation is quite simple. Really all it takes is protein of your choice, vegetables of your choice, and of course udon noodles. As usual, I'm taking the spicy route here. The center of my noodles will be not only jalapeno but 3 habaneros. This is the unfortunate part where I discovered that this newly purchased wok was not induction capable, and luckily we were able to get that up and running with our backup burner. The added benefit of this is that I'll be able to cook my chicken while preparing the water for my noodles. I prefer to cut my chicken into thin strips. I find it just makes it easier to cook and also makes it easier to eat with noodles. So I toss my chicken into the cast iron pan, let that start cooking while we chop our vegetables here. I prefer my vegetables rather finely chopped just so they can cook easier, but also because I don't like mouthfuls of vegetables while I eat. I like to have a nice blend of all the ingredients in every bite. As you can tell, yes, I obviously do love broccoli. As I'm preparing this meal, I'm monitoring my security camera footage just to make sure nothing strange is going on outside, and it just so happened that the security guard decided to pull up and park right next to my truck. Needless to say, I'm a little bit more on high alert at this point, but we're going to continue on and get our noodles into the water. I'm using fresh udon noodles, and since I don't have capability to cool these down with cold water, I'm simply going to toss these into hot water and turn the heat off immediately, just to ensure that they don't overcook. With the noodles set aside and our wok now vacated, we can add some oil here and dump in our vegetables to start getting those fried up. I had to be extra careful here while chopping these habaneros because I did not have a lot of spare water to use to wash my hands and get that capsaicin oil off my fingers. I'm adding a few cloves of freshly chopped garlic right towards the end so they don't cook too much. With our vegetables well cooked, I'm going to go ahead and toss the chicken back in here, but not before I notice that some strange things start happening outside the truck. The security guard has gotten out of his car at this point and has become active on foot, walking around next to my truck. I know at this point that if I make any loud sounds, there's a potential that he could hear me and discover that there is somebody in the back of the truck. My biggest concern at this point is simply the potential for him to ask me to leave with the threat of calling the police while I have food actively being cooked. Really, at the end of the day, I'm just incredibly hungry and I don't want to be disturbed by anybody while I'm trying to eat my noodles here. In my distracted state, I made what now in hindsight appears to be a critical mistake. I added a little bit too much of my stir-fry sauce in the final stage of preparation. Immediately after my first taste test, I noticed the security guard starts to move towards the front of my truck out of view of my cameras. Of course, the only camera that I have non-functional right now is my cabin cam, the one that I really need. So I cautiously opened the front door, stuck my camera out to try to get a view just to make sure and confirm that he wasn't actually looking in my truck, and that he was just hopefully walking around somewhere else. Luckily, I did not see him at all, so I assumed that he just simply went on a patrol. Finally, after about 10 minutes of stealthily eating my delicious noodles, the security guard returns and starts conversing with a couple of pedestrians. Luckily, they left shortly after, and he spent the rest of the evening in his car with the windows rolled up. I'm gonna call that dish Noodles Under Duress. It's perfect. It's perfect. It's perfect day. You guys want to see the latest work I did? If you pay attention, you've already noticed. You've already seen it, or at least part of it. But first, make sure you guys go over to my locals page, technobarbarian.locals.com, if you want to join a private community of van enthusiasts like me. We've got a bunch of people over there building their own box trucks right now. Some of them you're using my plans. I've got a lot of the technical information and specs behind this truck on that page, and you can ask me any kind of questions you want if you become a subscriber at technobarbarian.locals.com. Tonight's new build feature is the finishing of our workstation area. I installed a 5-light track light system from IKEA with completely hidden mounting and wiring. For our 2-in-1 Murphy bench and desk, the first thing you'll notice is that it made it floating and now appears to be mounted solely to the wall with nothing holding it up on the ground. I think this makes it a great modern look and also allows me more room for my feet as I'm sitting at the desk. I finished the desk unit out in some adhesive wood-like wallpaper to bring a more natural look to the room. I also ended up painting the trim white for nice contrast. The addition of an IKEA cabinet handle makes my bench a lot easier to pull out and put back. Even as a floating feature, my bench still retains enough structural integrity to easily seat 2 people. Of course, we didn't stop there. I wanted to make sure that my desk looked fantastic because I'm going to be spending a lot of time working remotely from this truck. To round out that modern studio look, I added wood slats on a flat black background. I installed a dimming light switch for these track lights right at the entrance of my rear sliding glass door so that I can easily illuminate the interior when I'm coming in from the outside. For those who are curious, I found this wallpaper at Lowe's. It seems to be pretty good quality, rather thick, and it has a great texture to it as well. It took me somewhere between 3 and 4 hours to get the entire desk unit covered inside and out to a quality level that was satisfactory for me. For the wood slats, I manually cut a ton of pieces of wood off my table saw and used a spacer to place them the exact same distance apart with some wood glue. .505, almost made it. We almost just got towed. That's right. It happened. I just got woken up to a jolt with the flatbed trying to pick up my truck. Funnily enough, before I was going to sleep, I was reading up a little bit. I found out that you can't tow a car if somebody's inside. It's illegal. I open up my roof hatch. I start waving, hey! He says, hey bro, you can't park here. I say, yeah, I'll move. And that's it. He can't tow me, so there's nothing. So what I'm gonna do is actually slide right on over to one of these hotel parking lots, and we will wrap up. All right, spot number 2. Last bottle of water. Southwest spicy pepper jack egg McMuffins. Apparently I have a meeting in 10 minutes. I also want to thank the one commenter for mentioning my propensity for spicy food in a creative way, let's just say. Inspired me to go extra spicy last night by adding 3 habaneros to my already somewhat spicy noodles. Wow, this is really good. Somebody else asked me if I'm going to be finishing the interior by installing base and crown moldings. The answer is yes. Somebody has a concern that my water tanks don't have any bracket reinforcement on the outside. They already have been reinforced with thick hanger strap on the outsides. Already taken into consideration, but I appreciate the concern. Mark Bayer Music wants to know, how do you know how to do all of this work? Well, the answer is that I don't. Didn't know how to do any of this before I made it, but I do have a strong imagination. I can visualize it in my head, and then from there all I have to do is reverse engineer it. If I reverse engineer it in my head, I just get the materials and I put it in the shape of what I saw in my head. If I don't know how to use a particular tool or something like that, then I just YouTube it. But yeah, no experience, 0 for any of this, which means you can do it too. Someone says the sleeping area might be a little tight. It is tight, but it's designed that way. My logic was, why would I take up any extra space, any more space than I need just to sleep? Because I don't know about you, but I'm unconscious when I sleep, so I'm not aware that I'm in a little box. But the worst thing that I see, it really bugs me, it's probably my biggest pet peeve, is when I see van builds, box truck builds, things like that, where they got half of the van space or a third of the van space taken up by a permanent bed. Absolute worst utilization of space, and for solo travelers, it's like a full-size bed. It's like this wide. Why do you need that much space for one person? Waste of space. That's why I have such an open living room area. I will have a bed, Murphy bed here, that can sleep 2 people, so I'll eventually be able to sleep 3, but it's not permanent. It's only gonna take up about 5 inches off the wall. So yeah, it's tight, but we're using every square inch possible. Efficiency. No, we're maximizing every square inch possible. We're not using every square inch. That's easy. It's easy to use space. It's hard to maximize it. All right, I have to get on some meetings. It is now 2:30 in the afternoon. It means I've been in this parking lot for a long time. I can't even count right now. I just got done doing a bunch of meetings. I think it's finally time to get the hell out of here. That was a rough one, but turned out successful in the end. Let me know what you guys thought in the comments. Success, fail, security, towing, water pump, problems. What did I do wrong? Where can I improve? Where should I camp next time? That's the biggest question, because you know we're not stopping, guys. Leave a comment below. Let me know where I should go next. And of course, don't forget to follow my private community at Techno, Barbarian.locals.com. I'll see you guys on the next one. That's where I parked last night.